Money does not buy you freedom. Money only buys you time to discover whether freedom already lives inside you. There comes a moment in every life when a question rises quietly: am I living, or am I simply functioning? Henry David Thoreau faced that moment early, much earlier than most. And he did not ignore it. He followed it. He was born in a small village in Massachusetts, where nature was not a background, but a presence. Trees were not just trees, they were columns. The lake was not water, it was a mirror. Silence was not empty, it was a teacher. While America rushed toward money, toward factories, toward speed, Thoreau noticed something simple and terrible. People were selling their lives to buy what they did not need. And no one noticed. He was not against money. He was not a moralist. He was an observer. And by observing, he understood a truth that still hurts. Money does not change you. It reveals you. Fear grows louder. Freedom grows wider. Slavery tightens. Emptiness deceives. Fullness supports. He saw men working 12 hours a day to buy things they did not truly want. He saw people measuring their worth by what they owned. He saw young people running toward a future they did not choose. So he did something radical. He stopped. He went to Walden, to a cabin he built with his own hands. Not to escape the world, but to see it from the outside. To understand what remains of a person when everything they can buy is removed. And he discovered a truth few want to hear. Remove the unnecessary, and the truth remains. And truth often scares. At Walden he learned that wealth is not accumulation, wealth is choice. Not having more, but having better. Not owning, but understanding. Not buying, but being. For Thoreau, money was a test. A silent test. A daily test. An inevitable test. Test that asks, what is your time worth? What is your attention worth? What is your freedom worth? A person can be rich and have no time for themselves. A person can be poor and feel light. A person can have everything and not know who they are. A person can have nothing and feel complete. Thoreau never asked anyone to reject money. He asked them to reject slavery, the blind race, the quiet desperation. He said most people live a life of quiet desperation, working to buy useless things, to impress irrelevant people, to fill a void that never fills. Yet he did not judge. He simply said, look at yourself. Look at what you are becoming. Money is not the problem. The problem is what you are willing to lose to obtain it. Today the world runs even faster. Money has become more than a force, a language, religion, an invisible measure that decides everything. And this is why his voice matters more than ever. His message reminds us that freedom cannot be bought. Freedom must be built. Money can buy almost anything, but presence cannot be bought. Peace cannot be bought. Courage cannot be bought. The courage to look at yourself without looking away. In the end, one question remains. Are you using money, or is money using you? And perhaps the hardest truth is not that money cannot buy freedom. The hardest truth is that freedom requires responsibility. To be free means to choose. And choosing means letting go. Letting go of what does not matter. Letting go of what distracts you. Letting go of everything that pulls you away from yourself. Few people do it because following the flow feels easier than stopping and asking, is this really the life I want? Thoreau did not have all the answers, but he had the courage to ask the right questions. And maybe everything begins there, not with what you earn, not with what you own, but with how honest you are willing to be with yourself. True wealth is not what you accumulate. True wealth is what you no longer need to feel complete. Today Thoreau's philosophy feels more relevant than ever. More and more young people are leaving big cities to return to small towns, forgotten villages, communities surrounded by nature. This is not a romantic escape. This is a search. They are looking for a more human rhythm, for work that does not consume their life, for relationships that are not just digital connections. In these places, money becomes a tool again, not the center. Value rises from the land, from books, from shared moments, from meeting people who bring stories, ideas, possibilities, a quiet movement, but a real one. You can see it everywhere. In restored homes, in artisan workshops, in communities rediscovering slowness as a form of freedom. And the resemblance to Thoreau's message is striking. Live with less. To live better. Understand that wealth is not accumulation. Wealth is choice. Maybe we are not going back to the woods, but we are going back to ourselves. If this video made you think, write in the comments what you feel. Tell us where you are watching from. And above all, are you using your time, or are you just spending it? If you enjoy this kind of content, subscribe to the channel. Here we do not just talk about money. Here we talk about freedom,